This is English for Daily Living, a program geared towards helping non-native speakers of English develop their listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. Welcome to another edition of English for Daily Living, English for Daily Living, with me, Michael Berridge, and I am certainly happy for another opportunity to be here in the studio. It's been a while since I have not been with you. I'm so elated, I'm excited once again to be back, and I trust that we can have a wonderful time as we continue this series here on the network. Today I want to look at something very important, a topic that is of utmost importance. Everybody, most adults, I should say, work. And so today we want to explore the idea of working, talking about your job. Talking about your job. That is what we want to do on the edition today. We'll be talking about your job. That's our topic. In other words, we're looking at occupations. Okay? Another buzzword would be professions. Okay? What do you do? What do you do for, where do you work? That's the key phrase. Where do you work? That will be our key phrase, a question or key question. Key question. Where do you work? If you want to find out someone's occupation or profession, you can ask the question, where do you work? Or you can also ask, what do you do? What do you do? Some folks may add on this part. What do you do for work? What do you do for work? Some may even go as far to ask, what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? All these questions are related. Where do you work? What do you do? Excuse me. What do you do? Where do you work? What do you do for work? Here we have work in here. Work. Okay? And what do you do for a living? Some may ask, what is your occupation? What is your occupation? These are the questions that we use in order to find out information about a person's job when we talk about the job. Okay, now, so let's go over these very quickly. Let's just repeat these very quickly. Remember, one of the important things to do is to be able to listen and repeat. So we have, where do you work? What do you do? The question words, we have where and we have what. Where do you work? What do you do? What do you do for work? What is your occupation? What is your profession? All right, let's quickly remove these. Let's quickly remove our slides from the board and move on. Where do you work? What is your occupation? What do you do for a living? What do you do for work? Those are very important questions. Now, remember in a previous program, we emphasized the verb to be. Do you remember the verb to be? The verb to be, the present tense of the verb to be, remember we have our subject pronouns I, you, he or she. Those are on the singular side. Those are on the singular side. Then on the plural side we have, we, you, and they. Do you remember the present tense of the verb to be? Do you remember the present tense? So we say I am, you are, he or she is. We are, you are, and they are. Very, very important. Let us go over these once again, quickly. Listen and repeat. I am, you are, he or she is, we are, you are, they are. So if I ask the question, what do you do? What do you do for work? You can use this verb and you can respond to various occupations. You can say, I am. You can say, I am. Let's put it over here. You can say, I am. I am a teacher. You can say, I am a teacher, or I work at a school. So here we have the verb in action. I am. I am. I am a teacher. I am a teacher. You are a doctor. Are you a doctor? She is a dentist, etc. So we have the verb to be in action. I am. Okay, so we have, this is from the verb to be. And this now, this part down here is the occupation. The noun, the profession, the occupation. Okay? So, look at this. Let us therefore look at various occupations. Let's think about some occupations. What can we come up with? Various occupations. Now, we must always ensure that we have a clean and a tidy workspace. So we are ensuring that it's possible. Let us clean the board. Remember, we are not coming to you electronically. Last time we had our PowerPoint, but we have reverted to this fashion. Therefore, it is important for us to have a clean working space. Now, my friends, the various occupations. Let's talk about some occupations. We have various occupations. As we can, the camera is focusing on this. We have nurse. So that's one. Some occupations. What are some occupations? We have nurse. Some people are nurses. We have a librarian. Someone who works at a library, dealing with books and the shelving of books and the organization and, categories of books. The janitor. And let me say that all occupations, all jobs are important. Whether we are working on the dump truck or whether we are working at a school or at a radio station, all jobs are important. Businessman, some are businessmen. So we have a businessman or businesswoman. We have a secretary. Some are we have secretary. Okay. We have on this flyer here, we have some more that we can talk about. Okay, so we have a cleaner, a driver, a sales assistant, a hairdresser, a chef, a gardener, a veterinarian, an actor, an actress, a doctor, a nurse, already mentioned here, a dentist, a police officer, a firefighter, a farmer, a construction worker, or in the United Kingdom, a builder, an artist. We have a receptionist, a mechanic, an engineer, a scientist, a teacher, a businesswoman, a businessman, a waiter, a waitress, an electrician, a pilot. That's mine. I love that. Pilot. You know, you have people's lives in your hands. You have that plane, you fly that plane, and you are able to ensure that people get to their destination safely. A pilot. We have a judge. A judge. Those are some occupations. Of course, lawyer and gardener and so on. These are other occupations that can be mentioned. So we are familiar with various occupations. So I'm going to ask you a question. What do you do? What do you do for work? Where do you work? What is your occupation? What's your job? Talking about your job. And I am a curriculum officer. I was formerly a teacher. I'm still a teacher. Here am I teaching. What about you? What about you? What do you do for work? Where do you work? So I've given you some occupations. I want you to tell me, what do you do? Oh, somebody just answered and said that he is a technician. The person here in the studio, he says, I am a technician. Very good. Okay? So if you're a technician and I ask, so what do you do? What do you do? Now, where do you work? Where do you work? He says, I work at, okay, Central Praise Network. Central Praise Network. Fixing the computers, ensuring that the consoles are working, the lights in the laptops and iPads, everything, making sure everything, the cameras, that they work well. A technician. Okay, now, so what we want to do now, I'm going to put some occupations on the board. I'm going to just hold them up and show you and let you tell me what jobs these individuals do. We'd like you to tell us the jobs. Okay, so look at this one here. What does he do? What work does he do? What is his occupation? He is a farmer. Very good. If you said farmer. How about this one? This one. What is it all about? Okay. Okay. He is a school teacher. What does she do? What? No, the gentleman behind the desk. What does he do? What does he do? Yes, he is a businessman. Very good, businessman. How about this one? We have two on this page. We have two of them. So we have what? We have she is a nurse. Very good. And he is a doctor. He is a doctor. A doctor. Okay. Finally, we have two more. What does he do? What work does he do? He is a what should I say here? A policeman. a police officer. He's a policeman. And she is what? She's a waitress. She's a waitress. All right, very good. You've done quite well. Now, let us, at this point in time, as we wrap up, let's talk about places of work. Okay, we're matching places of work with the occupations. Okay, so places of work, for example, or places of work, where do you work? All right, so we have our places of work. Now, if you have a farm, we spoke about a farmer. A farmer would work, okay, on a farm. A farmer would work 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 on a farm. Okay. In an office, who would work in the office? You just mentioned it. The businessman would work in the office. Or the secretary. These are the places of work. Now, in a teacher, where would a teacher work? The teacher would work where? At a school. School. Okay? And we have a laboratory. It's another place of work. A laboratory or lab. The scientist would work there. In a restaurant, the waiter or the waitress would be at a restaurant. At the construction site would be the builder or construction worker. At the hospital, we'd have the doctor or nurse. Okay. All right. So what we want to do quickly, talking about your jobs. Let's go quickly. Matching the jobs to the workplaces. One more. The theater. Let's mention the theater. In a theater, we'll have the actors, the actresses, and so on. All right. Okay, so matching the jobs with the work. Let's go ahead. So let's put here, businessman, nurse, farmer, scientist, waiter, teacher, builder, doctor, chef, actor. All right, let's go ahead. Let's try to match these quickly. All right, number one. Number one, businessman goes where? He would be in the office. Very good. The nurse would be where? Let's do this instead of doing lines. The businessman, let's call this one. Okay. The nurse would be where? Very good. That'll be the nurse or the doctor would be, I think we should have put written here, hospital. That's what we should have written. Places of work. So the nurse would be right here. The farmer would be on the farm. The scientist would be in the lab. The waiter would be at a restaurant. The builder would be the construction work, this construction site. That's what it would be. A construction site. And that would be number 7. The chef would be at a restaurant as well. Could be, yes. Chef would be there as well. And the actor would be in the theater. I think we should have included teacher on this side. The teacher. Yes, number 6. The teacher would be at a school. There it is. A teacher would be at a school. All right. Are we missing any? All right. So these are the jobs or professions, occupation, and we have here the places of work. All right. Very important for us to understand. Now, let us therefore conclude today's edition. Today we looked at our jobs. We talking about your job. Where do you work? What do you do? What do you do for work? We looked at various occupations, various jobs, things that people do for a living. And then we looked at the places of work, associated jobs with the places of work. I trust that you were able to learn something on today's presentation of English for Daily Living, and we look forward to coming your way again next time here, same time, same place for another edition. Until then, I'm Michael Berridge saying I'm out of here. Have a good one.
You've been viewing English for Daily Living, a program geared towards helping non-native speakers of English develop their listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. Hope that you did learn something on today's edition. Look forward to seeing you next time on English for Daily Living. Bye-bye.